Hummingbird, hummingbird should be your name.
Hummingbird should be your name.
Too restless to settle, too wild to tame.
Too restless, too wild to tame.
Too restless to settle, too wild to tame. A hummingbird, hummingbird should be your name.
She can take all pieces because we are using feeders. And so we are using something these birds come back to time and again, in some cases year after year. And so it does increase our odds of recapturing a bird in the future. So we're going to get to work because I don't want to, like I said, I'm not going to hold on to this bird any longer than we have to.
Do they calm down once they're in the bag?
This bird's in here, it's quiet, it's not moving. Truth be told, working with hummingbirds, doing this banding, is easier than working with a lot of our songbirds that kick and scream and in some cases bite, like cardinals. Not fun working with cardinals, but yes, they are. This bird is actually quite common here, and so we're not too concerned. Today also isn't an extremely hot day or an extremely cold day, so I'm not too worried about it overheating or not being warm enough. And it's also late enough in the day. This bird's been eating since probably about 6:15 this morning, so it's had plenty to eat so far. I will give it the option to eat when we get going here, just in case it is hungry, so that it's comfortable while we run through our little exercise. And you'll notice today I'm using some of this equipment is fairly specialized. I've left the nest somewhere between the middle of June and last week, or even this week.
Will the camera scare it?
No.
Okay.
To take better pictures when I'm done everything before we let it go, we'll go outside so you can get some better pictures and better light if that will help. Okay?
I don't know if it's
this bird, as you can see, is quite calm. He's looking at you. Sometimes I don't know who's more curious, them about us or us about them. It's hard to tell. Well developed. They cannot walk. They can perch, but they really can't walk. If they end up on the ground, they have a bit of a struggle getting up in the air, flying again. Okay? Their legs are so short, it's going to be about impossible to see the band with the naked eye or even with binoculars when I put it on this bird. That's why before we let it go, I'm going to give it a little dot of white paint so that we know it's one of the banded ones today. That white paint's going to wear off in a matter of weeks, but at least it'll tell us today if it decides to fly back into that trap, which they sometimes do even within minutes of being let go, we'll know that it's a banded bird. I say this is a bird from this year because I have time for 2 broods, so there are females right now that are feeding the second brood that will be out of the nest within the next couple of weeks, most likely. It takes hummingbirds 3 weeks in the nest, at least, to grow completely to the point where they can fly away. It's actually a fairly long period of time when you think about the fact that wrens and cardinals, their babies will leave the nest 12 to 14 days. But those birds, when they leave the nest, their feathers aren't full grown, they can't really fly. These birds have to be fully capable of getting around when they make that jump. So they have to be fully developed. And their mamas will have been cramming them full of insects for 3 weeks or more to make that happen. And it is only the females that do all of the work. Ladies, you're probably not surprised by that, but male hummingbirds are out there to look good, attract females. The females build the nest, lay the eggs, brood the young, feed the young. And then the young will stay with their mothers for a few days, but not too long before they're there on their own.
regurgitate?
Kind of a sword swallowing act. Those females do put their bill right down into the baby's mouth, which is amazing. When the babies hatch, they are teensy. They are teensy. But by the time they leave the nest, they're about the size of their mothers. Body-wise, they are completely full-grown. They may still be growing some of their body feathers, but for the most part, they've got everything, a full complement to be able to survive. Vascularized and innervated, so this bird feels with its bill. It's not horny material at all. But right now, by looking at the bird's bill, which I did, I could see a lot of wrinkles all the way out towards the end. So this guy has not been out of the nest all that long, or else much more of it would be smooth than it is at the moment. Now I'm just going to look over. That bird was fully feathered with these flight muscles that are going. A lot of the time, they probably overheat. Now the feathers are overlapping to cover the skin, but it would probably cause the bird to overheat had it not you know, that lack of feathers. And they can certainly part their feathers and move their feathers. All birds can control their feathers. They can even lose feathers at will, which is good if you're being trailed by a predator. But no, they are unique in that respect as well. But like I said, they can fly upside down. They can fly backwards. Their flight feathers and their muscles are very different than other birds. They essentially do a figure 8 with their wings, not up and down flight. And that's what allows them to do what they do. This little fella's been very cooperative. We're very happy about that. Okay, I'm going to take my fingers away and we'll see what happens.
Aww.
He just doesn't know he's free. Sometimes until they feel air movement, they sit there for a while, just trying to sort out what's going on. But he's in no distress whatsoever. Totally normal posture and everything else. This is just how they are. Makes my job kind of easy that they don't kick and scream and fuss and fight. Can you feel a little vibration? That's him breathing. Yeah. His heartbeat you can't feel, but you can feel the vibration of the bird's lungs. You may see other species at the zoo here in Asheboro. They have black-chinned hummingbirds, and they also have a giant hummingbird right now. But ruby throats are just...
What's the longest you've ever seen one sit there?
Oh gosh, I've never timed it, but it's been longer than this. I had somebody with a rufous hummingbird one day that had to do this because it just sat there and sat there and sat there. But you never know. He'll decide when he really...
That will help get rid of them.
Most of them are correct.
Prickly pears, they're called tunas, but the fruit actually has locust on it also. You just have to take the time to take a pocket knife and scrape off the locusts. And some of them taste like raspberries. And they'll have one
Crooked easy my mind.
prickly pear.
Because I don't know, he may sit, he may be in a hurry.
Oh, it's a Carolina day. On a plane I stole, love comes slogan, talking don't need a time. Working at a bottle of liquor.
As soon as everybody's got at least one shot, I'll take my hand, I'll take my
And we
fingers
all
away.
start to laugh and the people start to stare. They can know it's in a funny way, but we're all
He doesn't know it's free yet, but when he's ready to go, he'll go
Carolina
like a
day.
shot, of course.
Carolina day, don't rise in the morning, don't set in the evening, it ain't that way. Wake up in the morning and you got a friend and you're with a girl and you want to stay. Then my friend, you're in a Carolina day. It's a Carolina day. Alec and Brent, they're loving their child, and James is becoming a star. My sister Kate's laughing all the time, and my brother Hugh's out wrecking a car. And my mother smiles, thinking, isn't it fine that our children are home again? And Louis, my best friend, he falls on by. We're all together again. Carolina day, don't rise in the morning, don't set in the evening, it ain't that way. Look up in the morning and you got a grin, and you're with a girl and you want to stay. Then my friend, you're in a Carolina day. It's a